15 minutes later, Snow was stepping out of the shower when the doorbell rang. He hurriedly toweled off and padded into the bedroom, where he opened his top dresser drawer and pulled on a pair of jockey shorts. The doorbell rang again, twice this time. Snow crossed to the open window, pulled up the blinds, and yelled down to Alice, "I'm coming." Mrs. Tinsley, an elderly lady next door, was working below him in her side yard, pruning her bushes. She stopped, straightened, and craned her neck, staring up at his bare chest. "Hello, Jim," she said. Snow smiled and nodded to her. "Evening, Mrs. Tinsley." "Beautiful day, isn't it?" Snow gave a perfunctory look around, his smile fading. "It's a dandy," he muttered. He let the blinds drop and headed toward his closet to finish dressing. With that done, he thundered down the stairs and opened the front door. Alice stood there frowning at him. "He didn't answer his phone," she said. "I left a message. It was almost 10:30 their time when I called. He should be up. It went straight to voicemail on the first ring, so he was either on the phone or it wasn't turned on." She stepped inside. Snow closed the door and followed her into the dining room, where they sat at the small wooden table. It was partially covered with 2 disheveled stacks of old newspapers. She looked down at them. "What is this?" Alice asked. "Your recycling center?" "Ah," Snow replied. "I need to take those out to the garage." Alice turned her head toward the kitchen and wrinkled her face. "Something from in there stinks," she said. "Oh, yeah," Snow agreed. "Sauerkraut. I had kraut dogs the other night." He got up, crossed to the dining room window, and opened it. Alice had been holding her cell phone with her hand resting in her lap. She set the phone on the table, stood up, and walked into the kitchen. The counters were covered with an assortment of food-crusted plates, pots, and pans. She lifted the cover off from a saucepan and peered inside. Reflexively, her head jerked back from it. "Jim, this sauerkraut is turning brown." Snow turned away from the window, facing her. "That's why I kept the lid on it," he explained. Moving alongside the counter, Alice removed the lid from a Dutch oven and cringed. "Oh, God, what was this?" "Spaghetti sauce," Snow said. Alice carried the pot to the sink and began to run hot water into it. She leaned over and opened the dishwasher. "Are these clean?" "Yes." Snow walked toward the kitchen. Alice was now frantically pulling plates and bowls from the dishwasher, stacking them in the cabinet above her. "Alice, what are you doing?" Snow said. "That can wait." "I can't stand it," she said. "It's awful. How can you live like this?" Snow stopped in front of the sink. "I don't mind it," he said. "Everything's non-stick these days." Alice shook her head and began stacking silverware from the dishwasher into the drawer. "You don't need to do that now, Alice," Snow said. "I can clean up later." Alice straightened up and spread her hands emphatically. "I need to be doing something. I can't just sit around here waiting for my father to call. If he does call, I'll go nuts." Snow met her gaze. Alice's eyes were wide, welling up with tears. He stepped toward her and put his arms around her. "Maybe you should have met me at the office. There are fewer distractions there." "That's an understatement," she said. "I don't know why we're wasting money renting that space. We hardly ever use it." "That's our home base," Snow said. "It gives our prospective clients a place to find us." "Our website is our home base, Jim," Alice said. "That's where people find us. That and the yellow pages. All we need are our laptops and cell phones." Snow stepped back from her. "Well, you want to move out when the lease is up?" She shook her head, frowning, her lips pressed tightly together. "I don't know," she snapped. "Who cares? Why are we even talking about this now?" Snow shrugged. "I don't know. Same reason you're doing the dishes, I guess." Her features relaxed, forming into a faint smile. "One of my worst fears is coming true." "Oh?" "I think I'm starting to act like you." "How's that?" Snow said. "Goofy," she replied. Snow grinned and nodded. "I seem to have that effect on people."